Welcome to my video. Bear in mind that there will be spoilers for Persona 4 Golden and Persona 5. Ever since I started playing video games and watching anime, I always enjoyed thinking up unlikely battles, and the Persona series is no exception. By the recording of this video, I am playing Persona 3 and have beaten both Persona 4 Golden and Persona 5. So after some research and thinking about it, I think I've come up with a satisfactory explanation as to which one of these protagonists would win. Now, for any of you who have played the Persona games, especially to their end, you probably know about the Persona Yoshitsune and its move Hasutobi. Now just to clarify, Hasutobi is an 8 light hit move that usually wreaks havoc on the opponent, and so the winner here would be the Persona user who is able to get this move out first. So, as you can see here, Narukami's Yoshitsune starts out with way more agility than does Amamiya's, and given a regular leveling up progression, it would be safe to assume that by the time they both learn Hasutobi, Narukami's Yoshitsune would still be way faster than Amamiya's, which would also mean that Narukami gets out Hasutobi first, and I believe that pretty much makes him the winner of this fight. Okay. I'm not actually being serious here, but that does illustrate what I think is the biggest issue when comparing these two, the wild card. Now just to clarify, the wild card allows its holder to use any persona of any arcana, and for two wild card users, I believe that would create a grand stalemate. Now, what do I mean by this? Say Narukami were to summon Jack Frost, and Amamiya summon Black Frost. So Narukami doesn't like that, so he summons another persona that can counter Black Frost, and Amamiya summons a persona that can counter that persona, and this continues in an endless cycle of countering each other with nothing really happening. And for my purposes, that's not really what I want. So the wild card won't really be taken into consideration here. However, both these protagonists do possess a persona that is unique to themselves. And I'm not talking about Izanagi or Arsene. I am talking about Satanael and Izanagi no Okami. Now, why might I have chosen to use these versions of these personas? Well, when I think of these fights, I like grand, high spectacle fights. And so what more grand to fight when both of these protagonists are at their strongest, using their strongest personas, possessing their most powerful moves. So, in order to determine the power of these personas, I'm going to look at the lore behind these personas, but I'm also going to look at the lore behind the final bosses, as defeating the final bosses is the only real feat of power that we have for these ultimate personas. So, with that said, I'm going to start off by briefly going over the story of Izanami and Izanagi. Izanami and Izanagi are the last of 8 pairs of brother and sister goddesses from the Shinto religion, born after the heavens and earth separated from chaos. They both stood at a bridge which was between the heaven and the earth after they separated, of course, and stirred the oceans with a divine spear which created the first landmass, which was probably Japan. Eventually, they wed and had a child named Hiruko, which turned out to be a monster. And after asking the gods who came before them why this happened, they were told that Izanami, being the woman, should not have spoken first during the marriage ceremony, as she had, and that's why they had a demon child. So, they redid the ceremony, Izanagi spoke first, and they successfully had many children who would become gods of the Shinto religion. One such god Izanami gave to was Kagetsuchi, the god of fire, which killed her because she gave birth to fire, basically, and she died of burns, and she went to Yomi soon after, which was the Shinto religion's version of hell. Now, Izanami was grief-stricken and went after her, went to Yomi, and before that, he appealed to the gods and said that he wanted her back, but she had already eaten the food of Yomi and could not leave. But for some reason, they said that he could have her back if he were to wait. Now, he grew very impatient, didn't wait, and he went to Yomi and looked for her. And in the process of looking for her, he lit a fire using his comb and saw his wife deformed, rotting, and covered in maggots because, well, she was a corpse at that point. Now, this horrified Izanagi a lot and made him run away from Izanami, and she sent creatures after him to keep him there. She was pretty mad after he had saw her and broke the only condition that could have brought them back together. And after reaching the entrance of Yomi, Izanagi placed a stone across it and sealed Izanami in there and also broke their marriage union. And, well, this infuriated Izanami, and she vowed to kill 1,000 people every single day she was sealed there. And Izanagi retorted, saying that he would make 1,500 more people every single day. And, well, that's their story. Now, from this, it's important to note that Izanami is the goddess of death from this point on in the Shinto religion, and Izanagi is only one of the creator deities which form the world in the Shinto religion, and he also was a very high god in that echelon, but he was not the highest nor the first. So just keep that in mind going forward from here. Now, on to Yaldabaoth, or should I say, the Demiurge. Some of you may be familiar with this name if you've played certain SMT games, or for some reason are familiar with Gnostic belief. So, accounts of the Demiurge are numerous as they are broken, as the records were mostly destroyed because people back then didn't really like the Gnostics that much, which is also the group that came up with the Demiurge in the first place. Anyway, in Gnostic belief, the Christian God, the one believed to be the one true God, is different from the God that created our universe, that God being the Demiurge. The Demiurge created the universe from already existing materials. But how did those materials get there? Well, another concept in Gnostic belief is Plamora, which roughly means the fullness of God. Now, under Plamora, there are multiple aspects of God, as is in regular Christian belief, but the difference lies in the fact that there is a female aspect, also the counterpart of Jesus, known as Sophia. Now, for some reason, Sophia fell from Plamora and fell into the void that would later be occupied by her universe. And after being stuck there and longing to return home, she somehow accidentally created matter, like the matter that we're made of, the soul, and the Demiurge. Both soul and matter at this point were without form. Think of it as sort of a universe putty. Sophia eventually returned, but before she did, she isolated the Demiurge, which resulted in him being ignorant of God, Sophia, or any other beings that existed before him. And as a result, he thought he was all that existed and used the universe putty Sophia left to form the universe. Not create it, form it. But despite not being God, how did the Demiurge form the universe? Well, in all of Sophia's accidental spawns, she bled some of the Plamora that she had into them. So everything had a little bit of Plamora, and the Demiurge having a little bigger chunk of it. Now, the Demiurge was in no way a good guy. He was flawed, the universe was flawed, and he embodied the 7 deadly sins, which is pretty interesting because he attacks with that in the fight against him. So, from this, it's especially important to remember that the Demiurge formed but not created the universe. But, despite the fact that he didn't create it, he did single-handedly form it. He was the only entity involved in that. So, now we're going to move on to Satanael. Information is conflicted about Satanael, and in some Gnostic accounts, he's even considered to be the Demiurge, which does not work here. I decided to go with accounts that lined up best with Persona 5 Satanael, as the angel rebelling against the Demiurge. The Demiurge created angels when he made the universe, Satanael being one of them. Now, remember how Sophia's Pomora was in everything she accidentally created? Well, a side effect of that was because the Demiurge was of the same Pomora as everything that Sophia accidentally spawned. That resulted in the Demiurge being able to entrap everything because he basically formed the universe. And, of course, it allowed him to do whatever he wanted, which is exactly what he did. After Sophia returned to Pomora with all her other divine counterparts, she wanted to complete herself again, which she did by helping free humanity. Kind of like how the main characters are trying to free everyone in Mementos. Now, how does this all pertain to Satanael? Well, Sophia gave Satanael the knowledge. The kind of knowledge Adam and Eve acquired from eating from the forbidden tree in the Bible. After gaining this knowledge, Satanael learned that he was not serving the one true God as he thought, and rebelled as a result, bringing that knowledge to mankind. And in Gnostic accounts, that kind of leaves us where we're at today. From all this, it's important to note that the Demiurge is still considered to be a superior being, and outside of Persona's events, I really couldn't find anywhere where Satanael actually successfully killed the Demiurge. So, while Satanael can be assumed to be powerful, he's not more powerful than the Demiurge. So, now that all the information has been said, we're going to move on to who I think is going to win. I believe the winner of this is Satanael, and I have 3 reasons for it. My first reason. In the events of Persona 5, Satanael kills the creator deity, the Demiurge. Why is this important? Well, Izanagi is also a creator deity, so this establishes that Satanael can kill creator deities. This is further supported by the description of Sinful Shell, which is as follows. A bullet made from the 7 deadly sins that can pierce even a god. And, just to reiterate, Izanagi is a god. My second reason. Izanagi is not as powerful as the Demiurge. And Satanael destroying the Demiurge means that he should have no problem destroying a lesser god, as Izanagi. Now, why is Izanagi not as strong as the Demiurge? Well, in the mythology, Izanagi and Izanami form the universe. Whereas, in the Gnostic belief, you have the Demiurge forming the universe alone. And I think it's pretty safe to deduce that the Demiurge is more powerful because he did it alone, no assistance. And the third reason. This is a really bad matchup for Izanagi. Now, what could this mean? Well, looking at Satanael, Satanael has a creator god killing move. Perfectly fits killing Izanagi. Now, what does Izanagi have? Well, he has Myriad Truths, but okay. It's a powerful move, and it's his strongest move. But it's a move that's tailored to destroying Izanami. Now, how do I know this? Well, let's first look at the description of Mirror Truths, which is as follows. The word of power that banishes all of the world's curses and falsehoods. Okay. Well, let's look at another move that Izanami has, and what I believe is the move that she dragged everyone into Yomi with. If you don't know by now, Yomi is Hell. So, this move is called Thousand Curses, and, well, the move functions in opposition to Mirror Truths because, well, Thousand's Curses, if you remember, Izanami swore to kill 1,000 people, 1,000 curses, and Izanagi said he will create 1,500 more to create it. So, this is a move designed to destroy Izanami. And, well, Izanami was a creator deity. You have to remember that that doesn't really mean that it's effective against angels. So, yeah. Just to reiterate, Satanael can kill gods, while Izanagi has nothing especially effective against angels. Satanael destroys a more powerful god in the Demiurge, and, well, Myriad Truth just doesn't compare to Sinful Shell as far as destructive power. So in conclusion, the winner of this fight would be Amamiya. Honestly, I wanted Izanagi to win, mainly because not only do I like the Persona more, but I also like Persona 4 Golden way more than I do Persona 5, and I personally think it's a better game. But I try to be objective here, and Satanael's a god-killing machine, and that can't be overlooked. So, if you've listened this far, thank you very much. Sorry for the fluctuating audio. I know that's kind of annoying. However, this is my first time doing it, and I will try to find a method of doing better. Just bear with me. So, if you disagree, if you agree, if you think I'm some idiot, or you think I made a great point, tell me in the comments. I don't really know how many people are going to be interacting with this video, or how long it will take it to get big if it ever does, but please do. I enjoy feedback on the internet because it gives me dopamine. Alright, well, once again, thank you for watching.